Okay, we've got like 20 minutes until the episode airs, and currently I've got Strictly Come Dancing on mute, and I'm just kind of waiting for it to finish. So I'm going to do my final predictions before the episode starts. Okay, so I don't think Dan or Yaz are going to die. The plot of the story is going to be the Master using the Doctor to power up the army of Cybermasters or something like that. No idea for the Rasputin stuff. That's completely random. I think Thasmin will happen. I think there will be a kiss, but it will be tragedy because she'll turn into the next Doctor. And I think, finally, two new things. I think we are going to see a classic Doctor in this story, and if so, if there's classic Doctor in this story, I have to admit it's automatically a 10 out of 10. And I will kill myself if that happens and the story's bad, but I'm just going to say that now. And also, David Tennant is going to be at the end of this story. Let's see how much I get right.
2 hours later.
So, it looks like I got actually a lot of those predictions right, huh? So, welcome back to the Board Hoovian. As you saw with the clip before the titles, I did some little predictions before the episode started. I got that Dan and Yasmin die, correct, neither of them died. I got another two things correct, and those two things are pretty big. I got the fact that classic Doctors are in this, correct. I got the fact that she regenerated into David Tennant, correct. And obviously, I'll readdress that. I'll go back into that, and I don't want to focus on that at the start because the whole point is the actual story itself, and focus on the story and focus on how the characters are used. And I should start with that. I got the plot wrong. We will obviously go through the plot. I got Thasmin wrong. So, power of the Doctor, the power of the Doctor. I don't know if there's a the first or not. It's Doctor Who, you can never tell. But yeah. What do I think of it? It's a 90-minute special. I'll be honest, I was thinking with about 13 minutes to go, she's not been killed yet. And I was like, what's going to cause her regeneration? Because she's just degenerated. Is she going to regenerate again? I don't know what's going to happen here. And then she, the Master in their kind of final moment decided to do that. Is the Master dead? We don't see the Master fully die or regenerate, meaning it's open-ended with the Master, meaning the Master will definitely come back at some point. Will they come back in the next era? I hope not. I don't want the Master to come back in the next era. I want the Master to take a break, a real break. That the Master has played a big part in the last two eras. Give the character a break. Put the characters to rest for a little while. I wanted them to do that during the Whittaker era because of how prominent Missy was. But they didn't do that, but now's the time. Really, we can't have 3 years in a row where the Master is so pivotal. And a lot of people complain about Smith not having a Master. I thought it was a good idea to just give that character a break. But yeah, the Master in this story. What do I think about the Master? I think the Master's great. I think this is probably Sastrawan's best performance in that he's given a lot to do. He does multiple things. He technically played the Doctor in this story, if you want to think about it. It was funny seeing him in Jodie's costume with the earring and everything. That was cool. And then obviously in his moment of mocking the Doctor in a way and ruining the legacy of the Doctor, wearing almost every costume possible. So, you've got the question mark sweater from the 7th Doctor, you've got the celery from the 5th Doctor, you've got the scarf from the 4th Doctor. I think he was wearing the first Doctor's, trousers. He had the recorder, and he had, Tennant's tie. So he was literally doing as much as is humanly possible. I really liked Sastrawan's performance in this. It's a good way to bow out as the Master because he's not coming back. He's announced that, which is sad, but he's obviously done Big Finish and that'll come soon. Okay. Let's talk about the old characters coming back. Ace and Tegan, they were the big ones. What do I think about them? I thought the way their characters were in the story was true to them. A little bit frustrated about Tegan because it kind of gets rid of the idea that she is with Nyssa, which is sad. I did think that would happen, and it's happened. Her and Nyssa is not canon anymore. Russell is going to be mad. I'm a little bit annoyed how Ace just kind of gets banished to the Dalek bit with Graham, and then you don't see her, and that gets resolved very quickly. When I saw Graham, I was in shock. I was like, oh God, Graham, what's he doing? And then I remembered how his character ended, that he's, trying to help Earth without the Doctor. And I thought Graham would show up right at the end. I didn't think he'd show up with a little bit to go and help out, but he did, and that was nice. And I thought it was good in it. But going back to Ace, she said her lines, like wicked and all that stuff, which you expect. I'm not going to moan about that. I expected it. She got to beat up a Dalek one last time, using I-29, all that stuff. But as a character, they explained her like exit, and the way they explained her exit is like they fell out. So obviously, they don't want to go into too much detail. I think it's the right thing to do. You don't want to. I mean, this era gets so much complaints over talking too much and explaining. The whole show don't tell. They're telling, not showing, and showing the emotions of the characters is better. And saying like they fell out instead of just going into full detail, telling us exactly what happened. It happened in the unwritten season 27. Like, no, let's just put us to bed. We know something happened. Tegan. Obviously, they address so much in this story. The Master addressing Aunt Vanessa. Didn't think that would happen. Did not think that would happen, and it did. They addressed Adric in this story, which is very nice. They really took care with those two characters and their past. The fact that they both recognise the Cybermen. Obviously, I think if I was Ace, I wouldn't be scared of the Cybermen, purely because, she was defeating them with a slingshot in Silver Nemesis, a story which I don't really rate. Whereas Tegan's past with the Cybermen, obviously far more tragic, which is how Adric gets mentioned. Sorry for the lighting, that is my Xbox. I will turn the screen off there, but a little bit more natural light. But yeah, natural, it's just my room. But going further on, Tegan with the Cybermen, Tegan with the Master, they both react to the Master in kind of shock. They reference survival a little bit, like last time I saw you, I was a cat. I like both of them in this story. I like both of them as companions in general. I like both their eras. And yeah, I'm very happy that they were here. Going into the plot as a whole, I got the plot wrong. I'm sorry, but when the Doctor turned into the Master, I was like, what the hell? This is going completely differently. They kind of shut Jodie Whittaker out of her final story for a while. Big play. Obviously not really, because she was playing the AI thing. And then they got Ruth to come in as a little bit as part of that, which works. And I really liked it. When you saw her kind of metaphorically in this kind of space before regeneration, where she was talking to her partner, as soon as that panned up, I thought it was an old man. I thought, is it going to be Tom Baker? And I thought, no, they won't do Tom Baker, because Tom Baker's had his chance to come back to Doctor Who, and he has. In the 50th, it's time to give the ones who haven't had a go. They gave David Bradley a go because he's symbolic. He's the first Doctor, and and I thought that was lovely. But to give, oh my God, my face when I saw, Peter Davison, Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy, and Paul McGann finally got his chance. It's when I saw Paul, my face, and the fact that he wasn't wearing the robes, he was wearing his actual costume. I was like, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Paul has returned to the show. Oh, it's marvellous. It's marvellous. It's perfect. I love Paul. He's fantastic. I love all of them. Colin, all that. Fantastic. Loved it. And they all did well in their little mini roles. And then as well, obviously with the Doctor AI connected to Ace, Tegan, and Yaz. Did I forget Yaz's name? She's the incumbent companion. Well, not anymore. But with that, I loved how the AI turned into, the Fifth Doctor and the Seventh Doctor, respectively, for Ace and Tegan, to give those moments discussing Adric and discussing Ace's exit. And that was beautiful. Well, I'm sorry, but I very nearly teared up when the Seventh Doctor said to Ace, "You're Ace." I just went, but that's lovely. And that's officially the Seventh Doctor's final lines in Doctor Who, technically. And you can see me nearly tearing up again. And if I'm honest, I did cry watching this, and the moments which made me cry in this story are not linked to regeneration, are not linked to Jodie's exit, are not linked to Yaz's exit. It's the companions. The companions really are the heart of this show, and I think this story proves it. I think this story is a story for companions, in that they saved the Doctor. They saved the day, not the Doctor, and I love that. It's lovely, and I'm getting close again because I'm going to talk about the scene which really made me cry. Just after the Doctor gets taken down by the Master, and Yaz is dropped off, and there's a companion meet up. That really got me going. Just seeing Ian. God. But yeah, seeing Ian back, William Russell, seeing Mel, Joe. It really meant a lot as a Doctor Who fan. God. I'm really struggling here. But yeah, seeing those companions return really just was amazing. Yeah, really powerful scene. What I think about Ashad's return, very neatly explained by the fact that he's a clone and, he's being repurposed by the Master for his grand plot. The grand plot, I understand it. Could I explain it right now? No, because there's too many moving parts, but the moving parts link together better than any other Chibnall story. I'll be honest, I think this is the best story of Whittaker's era, hands down. Maybe it's because it's the only one which has been given the 90 minutes which almost every Whittaker story deserves to outlay its plot, which is an issue I've always had. One final thing before I get on to the big moments. Vinder. What did Vinder do in this story? He was there, and then we didn't see him for a while, and then he came back for a little bit and was a tiny bit relevant to the story and then disappeared again. And one more thing, as the Doctor kind of fixes everything in the TARDIS, again, Chibnall couldn't help himself and couldn't help but steal a little moment from, the RTD era by, taking that moment from Journey's End where they, all part of the TARDIS. Which, yeah, a bit annoying. But I didn't really care. But now, yeah, the whole degeneration plotline was amazing. And the fact that, the Master dies and ends up killing the Doctor in spite. The whole, the Dalek and Cyberman aspect. The Daleks played a bigger role than I thought they would. They were pivotal to the plot, and so were the Cybermen. The fact they all united in their hatred of the Doctor. It's something which we've never seen, and something which has happened now. We've had a story of the Master Daleks and the Cybermen, and I thought one of them would be pushed aside, but they were all kind of centric. They were all cogs in the Master's plan. And in saying that, I love that he referenced the Dalek Master Plan. That was a niche reference. But in a niche reference, please can you animate the Dalek Master Plan? For God's sake, please. We've been waiting for years. Come on now. But now, I've talked about it all. I've talked about the moment of the companions, which makes me deeply sad. One thing I will mention now is how Jodie left. Now, I don't exactly remember her final words. The idea of her stepping out the TARDIS and saying, "Just give me one last sunrise." I love that. The idea of the Doctor's going, "I want to see the sun. I want to regenerate for the sun." That's lovely. That's a great regeneration. And I was right. She wouldn't get a speech. She wouldn't get a monologue. And I love that her regeneration was done alongside that lovely companion scene. That really connected to me, because they're all talking about what the Doctor means to them and their stories of the Doctor as the Doctor's regenerating and it's coming back and forth, and that's beautiful. It's beautiful. Maybe one of my favourite regeneration scenes, because it really gets to the heart of the show. And yeah, am I sad to see Whittaker go? I've got to be honest, no, because I'm excited for the future, and I'm the most excited I've ever been for the future of the show in living memory. But am I sad for Whittaker? Yes. Because I really like Jodie Whittaker. As an actor and as a person, she's been a great ambassador for the show. Is Yaz's exit good? It's a very nice exit. Her simply realising, she doesn't want to be with the Doctor because of her link. She was so addicted to her relationship with the 13th Doctor that she simply can't stay. I mean, they don't really go into detail, but that's pretty much what it looks like. And then she just... that little final moment, that little final adventure, then just have an ice cream sitting on top of the TARDIS is lovely. We need to talk about the regeneration. When she started regenerating and her theme started playing and it zoomed out, in the back of my head I went, they're going to do no regeneration and they're going to cut to black. They're going to do that and it's going to really annoy me. And then they cut back to her, and as soon as they cut back to her I went, no they're not. They are going to show her regenerate into someone else. And when they did that and I saw David Tennant, I went, I just burst. I mean, Joe, what? I've got the clip here. I'll show the clip here. David, it's David! Your teeth, that's weird. I know these teeth. Yes!
What? What?
So yeah, like, with David Tennant, I'm just in... I mean, I predicted it. That was my prediction, which I got right. That was one of my predictions I got right. David Tennant. One thing I will find weird, which I think I mentioned in that little clip, it's the first of regeneration where they've regenerated into new clothes. Which makes me suspect either A, Chibnall's messing with canon, or has got something wrong, or B, this is my other answer, that's due to other work at play. I think this regeneration has been tampered with by the Celestial Toymaker, who's going to be in the 60th anniversary. Yeah, that's just my theory. But yeah, David's back. I'm sorry, but when I saw in the credits and introducing David Tennant as the Doctor, I went, oh my god. No, would it say reintroducing? I might have said reintroducing, but oh my god, David Tennant's back. We knew David Tennant was back, but now we know how David Tennant's back. Oh my god, I'm in shock. I knew this, but now I've said it again, and now I've got myself in more shock. What do I rank the episode out of 10? As you know, in my little clip before the start of this review, I said if Class Doctors come back, I have to give it a 10 out of 10. So I've got to give this story a 10 out of 10. Aside from that, what would I give it out of 10? I'd give it an 8. 8.5. I loved it. I think this is the best Whittaker story ever. I think it's the best story we've had probably since The Doctor Falls. Or World Enough in Time. Which is obviously the final finale of Series 10, because I don't think the Whittaker era has been that great. But yeah, oh my god. It really spoke to me as a Doctor Who fan. And it was a great exit. And it was what I wanted. And yeah. It's official. Jodie Whittaker is no longer the Doctor. David Tennant is the Doctor now. And that's it. So, comment below what you thought. Did you like the episode? Did you just like it? What would you give it out of 10? What do you think of my opinions? Yeah, did you think I had a little bit of a cry outburst? I'm sorry, I don't want to cry on camera, which is why I kept cutting and trying to cut away. Like the video if you liked it. Please ding the bell for notifications so you're notified whenever I upload. I'm going to try and upload a little bit more now. I'll probably ramp up now we've had this big moment and do more videos surrounding her end and the future. And yeah, please subscribe to the channel so whenever I upload, you'll be one of the first people to know. It'll be in your feed and you'll see me as much as you can. But yeah, I'm the Bald Whovian and this has been the Power of the Doctor review. Farewell, Jodie Whittaker.